Hey, and welcome to the political show right here on Active FM, where radio has never been better. I'm your girl Cynthia, but you know you can call me Gix. And with me in studio we have
Gavin Inslin,
Pastor Gavin Inslin, and
The Black Knight.
The Black Knight, right here on the political show, where Christ politics is
Hot Politics.
Hot Politics. And this week's Hot Politics, we are starting a series that I can't tell you how long it's going to take, but it's going to be a very, very interesting series. We are looking at how dictators take control or gain control, and we're going to be comparing it to some of today's governments. Yep, that's what I'm saying. We know them as democracy governments. They stand for democracy and stuff, but the tactics that they implementing or taking within their positions as politicians doesn't really give democracy. So we're going to be comparing some of the past dictators, what they've done to gain control, and comparing that to some of the governments in today's society, in modern society. And this week we are looking at, drum roll, we are looking at Hitler and John Steenhuisen, the leader of the Democratic Alliance here in South Africa. Pastor Gav, do you want to give a more brief explanation?
Yeah, I think just here's a good time to mention, we're not saying that John Steenhuisen is Hitler.
No.
But
no, we are not saying that.
We are comparing his tactics because I think his tactics are very deceitful.
Yeah.
I think that the tactics of the Democratic Alliance in South Africa are very deceitful. And the reason why we're comparing Hitler to the Democratic Alliance is because Hitler was all about mobilizing business and you know what they call private-public partnerships. So that's what Adolf Hitler was all about. If you look at the history there, you know, there's some very good videos. And I don't know if we can maybe just take the one that we watched. There's a video about the tactics Hitler used to actually gain control of German society prior to the Second World War, and how he started out preaching one thing, and then gradually began to shift the narrative. That even includes, for example, the ideology and the goal he had to destroy and exterminate all Jews worldwide. You know, he didn't openly come out with that when he first was running for power. And that's something that was gradually implemented. Basically, he came into power promising to fix the German economy, which was in disarray after the First World War. He promised to spend certain money, government money, to start creating jobs. And I don't know if that's starting to sound familiar in terms of the political discourse that you hear today in South Africa. And so we're actually going to analyze this because the Democratic Alliance claims that they're a liberal party. Liberal is all about freedom. The word liberal means freedom, and if that's freedom, I'd hate to see jail, because what they're promoting is going to create jail time for all citizens. Yeah. And so we're going to take a deep dive into this, and before you get offended, listen to the whole show.
Yes.
And then comment afterwards.
Yes.
Give us your comments.
Yes.
And if you like the show, then promote it. Come on, promote it. Black Knight, tell them to promote it.
Promote it. That's all I was supposed to say, just joking. Make sure you promote this show, watch previous shows, because we have like some cool topics on there.
Yes, it's going to be a hot show as always, right here on the political show where Christ politics is
Hot Politics.
Hot Politics.
This is the political show.
So like we mentioned, we are comparing how Adolf Hitler rose to power in the 1930s and how John Steenhuisen leads the DA, the Democratic Alliance in South Africa, and especially now that they are part of the government of national unity. Right, so the first thing that we're going to look at is exploiting crises. So when Hitler came to power in 1933, Germany...
So I think you must just say it again. The sentence that says, I'm not saying.
Yes, we are not saying, okay, this is bold. The camera is zooming in, but not too close. We are not saying that John Steenhuisen is Adolf Hitler. All right, so we do understand the severity of comparing the two, the two of them. We are looking more specifically at the tactics that Adolf Hitler used to gain power, and we're looking at the tactics that the DA is using. And it's not just the DA. We are comparing John Steenhuisen right now.
No party will be left unscathed. Yeah.
No. Right now we are comparing John Steenhuisen, but if you look across the board in so many different governments, there are certain tactics that that have been used throughout history that dictators themselves have used, and that is what we are looking at. So anyone listening to this that thinks they're going to say that, the political shows say that John Steenhuisen is Adolf Hitler, please don't. That is all I ask. Yeah. So
but he is using very similar tactics.
Yes.
So if you're accusing us of saying that his tactics are very similar to Hitler's, and we're talking about Hitler in the early days now.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about the death camps for the Jews and all of that sort of stuff. We're talking about the early days. Then we are saying that the tactics of the DA and the Nazi party led by Adolf Hitler in the 1930s are very similar.
Yeah, that is what we are saying. All right, so when Adolf Hitler came into power in 1933, Germany was in pieces. There were millions unemployed, families starving, the economy shattered by the Great Depression and the Treaty of Versailles.
Versailles.
I'm reading it
in
French.
You French?
Yes, I'm reading it in French.
Versailles.
Versailles.
Okay. In English, it's Versailles.
Versailles.
This is an English show.
But Versailles.
Versailles.
What's this?
It's a silent L.
Yeah, one L is silent. Is it both L's? Okay.
No, in English, it's silent.
Potato, you know?
No, it's like
Potato,
Australians will tell you that if you want to say Australia like an Australian, it's a silent AU. Australia.
Well, what was his promise? His promise was simple: bread and work. And when we fast
forward... So is that how you
forward,
say it in French? Versailles.
Versailles.
But there's an I. Versailles.
Versailles. What's this? VES. Our
production guy is disagreeing with the two Frenchies. Yeah, two different Congos.
VESAILLES. What is it? Versailles. The one L is okay. There's another French person here.
There's a fight breaking out here.
France.
Versailles. Do you understand? Okay, maybe it's because he's from the different
It's the same.
The different Congo. He's not from the DRC.
What is France in French? What do you call France in French? Francais. Okay, it's France in English. What do you call Germany in German? Deutschland, but it's Germany in English. Okay, so do you get what I'm saying? We're talking English here.
Yes.
So Versailles in English is Versailles.
Okay.
It's the same as Jan Rosetteville. There's a street called Bouquet Street. Then all the French people come and say bouquet. But it's the English pronunciation, bouquet. It's a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Back
is the
to
English
the topic. Back to the topic. So when we fast forward to South Africa, Steenhuisen leads during a time of rolling blackouts, corruption scandals. I mean, if you've been keeping up with South African news, you know there's a lot that is going on. And what is his promise? His promise is that the DA can fix what the ANC has broken. And now within the GNU, he positions the DA as the
GNU is the Government of National Unity.
Yes, the Government
for
of
people
National
outside
Unity.
of South Africa.
Yes.
People also talk about the GNU.
The GNU. The GNU. He positions the DA as the stabilizer in a fractured government. And what is the tactic that is similar? How is his tactic similar to that of Adolf Hitler? Step into a national crisis and claim that you only have the solution. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, if you listen to John Steenhuisen, you listen to Helen Zille, and you listen to, what's his name, Ian MacDonald, you listen to so many other people in the DA, that's exactly what they're saying. They're saying, guys, the ANC has totally messed up this country. Oh, look at this country. This country's destroyed by the ANC. But look at Cape Town. Oh, Cape Town. We lead Cape Town. And Cape Town is the best city in South Africa. The fact that Cape Town is under so much debt, all right, the fact that they're charging people unbelievable charges on their rates and taxes. The rates and taxes bills, that residents of Cape Town have to pay is astronomical with a capital A. And the fact that Cape Town is probably the most indebted city in South Africa. So it looks nice because there's no potholes in the streets and the pavements are nicely painted and all of that sort of stuff. And that is awesome, by the way. But then, when you can't afford to live in the place, then it's not so great. So the DA is saying, look at Cape Town, and they're pointing to that as an example of what they would do if they ruled the whole country. And yet, at the end of the day, the things that they're doing come at a cost, because I don't know that they're any better at doing it than what the African National Congress does. But they are saying that they are the only solution. And the same DA, to me, similar to Hitler, they want sole power. Similar to the ANC, in fact, as well. They want sole power. And the reason why I'm saying that is because one of the things that they want to introduce is legislation whereby, in our proportional representation system, because we have a system of proportional representation in South Africa, they want to limit that a party must get at least 5% of the vote to get seats in Parliament. And then you divvy up the seats of the parties that get less than 5% amongst the big parties. In other words, they want to create a system similar to the one in the US, where it's a two-party state, the Republicans and the Democrats. And if you're outside of those two, then you're not going to make it. That's my view.
Yeah. Black Knight?
It's obviously difficult to not speak about the other guys because
no, we're going to get them in future weeks.
Hence why I don't want to jump the gun.
Yeah, let's just stay with our friend John.
So you can definitely see this happening. I also want to take it as further as they probably have this 4 years to try and they call ANC the elephant, the big elephant, right? To try and take down the ANC. I think they have 4 years, or they probably gonna have to all work together in this GNU, so that each party, because I see fractions and fractions of Hitler's tactics in all the parties, and if they all stay together...
No, we'll get to other parties.
Oh, yes,
Black Knight, discipline yourself.
If they all stay together...
Stick with John.
If they all stay together in this
SWJ,
GNU,
stick with John.
If they all stay together in this GNU, I see a whole fascist ideal being implemented, and especially it's not just John who's starting to speak like this. Helen Zille, when she was running, in fact, they were known as the, what's the word? Opposing party, the opposition party. So that means their tactics were always, look at what they're doing, we can do this better. Like from Helen Zille, and we see the same thing with Steenhuisen. We saw the same thing with, what's her name again? Is it Katlego? She was mayor. I think it's I'll check.
Which mayor?
The DA mayor.
Where?
In Gauteng.
I know you're talking about.
You see.
Remember the one that was deposed?
Yes,
by the Patriotic Alliance. I've forgotten the name. I know name.
Yeah. So
hopefully I remember.
Hopefully the producers will do us justice and put it there up for us when they find it. But I just see that it has been the DA's tactics. So definitely this is what we're seeing. And once again we are emphasizing it's the political show. We are talking tactics, not the person. So yes, that's what I see too.
Yeah, and then the second tactic is the man of peace, inverted commas. At first, Hitler hardly mentioned the Jews. He promised peace, even asked Germans for 4 years to prove himself. Black Knight, GNU, 4 years. He asked the Germans for 4 years to prove himself. He softened his image to win trust. And what's the Steenhuisen also softens. His speeches highlight competence, order, and stability, all in inverted commas. And within the GNU, he repeats that the DA isn't there to save the ANC, but to save South Africa. A careful framed reassurance. And again, the tactic is familiar. You appear moderate, gain trust, and then introduce harder ideas later.
Yeah, just it's Mpo Palazzi.
Yes, Palazzi.
Okay, that name makes more sense.
So this was bugging me. Can't even remember.
Me too. It's like, and she was famous. Yeah, Palazzi.
Yeah, Mpo Palazzi.
Thanks.
Yeah, so the DA obviously comes across and they appear moderate and
Yeah.
they're gaining trust. But the thing is, you know, they're actually hiding they're hiding their ideals and their true motives behind their words. John Steenhuisen recently gave a speech with a lot of the other DA leaders. You know, I think the leaders in the cabinet, you know, the GNU cabinet, and they spoke. I think it was a 6-point plan of how they're going to rescue and save South Africa. And the thing is, at the end of the day, that whole thing of we're here to save South Africa, and in fact, that was actually what their campaign was all about in the last election, was save South Africa, vote DA. And the thing is, at the end of the day, they appear moderate, but just one area where they're actually totally lying in their so-called moderate approach, and that is their stand on climate change. And if you read the climate change bill, which was obviously passed by the ANC government in 2022, the climate change bill of South Africa, the DA supported it. And in fact, the DA claims that they are the best when it comes to climate change. In fact, in Cape Town, where the DA, you know, they hold the position of mayor, they also, you know, are the majority party in the Western Cape government, and they're claiming that they're a party that is making huge strides towards what they call green energies and combating climate change, you know, and all of these sorts of things. And so, climate, if you're on the climate change agenda, you're not a moderate, you're a radical. And the Democratic Alliance is a party of full-on radicals. And you cannot be a climate change activist and a liberal at the same time. Because if you're a climate change activist, your entire existence goes around restricting the freedom of people and not expanding. The DA also criticizes black economic empowerment, that whole policy. But I mean, they've got the same policy. At the end of the day, they do exactly the same thing. They just claim that they do it better. And so, yeah, you know, here we go with all of these things. And as you said, the reassurance is carefully framed. But when you listen through it, that they want digital this and digital that, and they'll push for digital currency and all of those sorts of things. And that's going to bring about an absolute disaster when it comes to people's freedom. And I believe the DA would be far more effective at policing in such a way that you wipe out South Africans' freedom than what the ANC is. So we're a lot freer under an ANC government than we would be under DA government. And the DA will take many of these evil laws that the ANC has passed, especially in the last 5 to 7 years, and they will actually implement them.
Yeah.
So that's my view.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think one thing for sure, I was also thinking about is the fact, is it the whole COVID thing? When was it? 2020. Yes. I was fearful of the DA being in power when I heard them campaigning those days, like Pastor Gavin said, and stuff that they were pushing. And I know how they run Cape Town. They did a bad job in the Western Cape. I think some parts or majority of the Western Cape was not well looked after by the DA. But with Cape Town itself, they're doing a great job. But obviously, like Pastor Gavin did highlight, with the whole economy state of that province. But yeah, when they were busy running their campaign, if I may say, in 2020, on how they're gonna implement this and that, and it was all the what was that agenda? The New World Order. I think that's what they were calling it, right? The New World Order agenda. And I would imagine DA would actually be good in implementing. Already right now we have like evil laws in our country, and if the DA would obviously step in, I think they want to probably the business people want the DA to step in, because these things will be implemented properly, as we can see with the bit of Home Affairs stuff that was done. There's like a whole project behind it, and it's actually working. It's actually going well. So that is my biggest fear with the DA when it comes to this, because yes, we do have laws that are very, very evil, and the DA will do a great job in implementing that. It's very bad to say that.
Now, just to say, the DA, for example, is in charge of home affairs. Now, there's the home affairs that I go to as a marriage officer on a regular basis. And it's actually your experience there as a citizen has deteriorated from, prior to May 2024. It's actually quite a mess. It was a very big mess a number of years ago, but it had actually improved, steadily. And that actually gotten it to quite a good place. And so it's really deteriorated. And then I just also wanted to say, I think, we should do a part 2 on this. And I think we should finish on the next question.
Yeah.
Because we've got a whole lot of things. So it's not going to fit in one show. I'm just looking at the time. I think we should then, we'll continue part 2 next time.
Yeah. And so the last one for this segment, for this session, is propaganda and symbolism. Hitler mastered propaganda, radio speeches. I think I even remember seeing a post from like a newspaper article about Hitler and how he's going to change the world and how he's going to bring about change in Germany and all. And it really, like, if you didn't, like, if I was not in, I think at that time was when I still was doing the news show, before the political show and the news show became one show. When was that? Prior 2020.
It was before 2020.
Yeah, I think like 2018. I remember looking at that news paper article and being like, if I didn't know what Hitler did, like,
you would have voted for him.
I would have voted for him.
Yeah.
Because his propaganda, the tactics that he used for propaganda worked so well. So he mastered propaganda, his radio speeches, autobahn construction filmed for the cameras. He was also shown as the man of action. And in that news article, you can literally see that, the people were blindsided,
yes.
If you put it that way. The people were blindsided.
He was a man of action. It's just bad action. But he was a man of action.
And today
he was definitely a man of action.
Yes. And today we see that with Steenhuisen, he uses today's tools, social media clips, parliamentary highlights, and showcasing DA municipalities. But the GNU has also forced him into a symbolic battle. For example, when the ANC forced out DA Deputy Minister Andrew Whitfield, Steenhuisen slammed it as a betrayal of the GNU spirit, framing himself and his party as defenders of fair governance. So the tactic here is that politics is theater, symbolic wins matter. Yeah. So
yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
No, in terms of that, I mean, that whole thing there with Andrew Whitfield. There's also that other lady who was the spokeslady on Foreign Affairs. What was her name? Emma what? Emma Powell or something.
Yes, I'm
Yes,
Emma
Emma
Powell.
Powell.
We did a show on her.
Yes, we did a show on her. I mean, she was fed to the wolves.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they didn't stand up for her at all. Okay? And there's been other people that, the proverbial term is the DA threw them under the bus. Okay? So the DA doesn't like something about them or something, so they take them and they throw them as a bus is about to roll over them. And with Andrew Whitfield, he didn't have the permission of the president as a member in the cabinet, because he was a deputy minister. He didn't have permission from the president, which you need to leave the country. But the DA said, no, we're sending you anyway. So they pushed the boundaries there. And then when the president fired him, then Steenhuisen comes out and makes a big thing. Says, and he says it in Parliament, I'm giving President Ramaphosa 48 hours to correct this. And he said, if you're going to fire our deputy minister, then you must fire. And he named some ministers. And the DA won't allow the ANC to get away with having any corrupt ministers. And he said, Ramaphosa, you must sweep in front of your own door before you sweep in front of the DA's. That was actually his speech.
Yeah.
And then the 48 hours came, and the 48 hours went. And so all the DA leaders, they come and they have a press conference in the DA headquarters. And Steenhuisen says this and this and that has happened. And so as a consequence of that, the DA is leaving, and now everyone's waiting. Because everyone thinks now they're going to leave the government of national unity. The DA is leaving the national dialogue. What a damn squid. So, it's theatre.
Yeah.
It's theatre. Then they said...
We've seen it so many times.
Yes, then they said, we're not going to pass the budgets of any of these ministers Again, there was theatre, and then the next thing, the budget passed. None of those ministers were fired. Oh no, they really have strong principles, these guys, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a serious thing.
So
You know, no, if Steenhuisen showing backbone, the problem is he's got a rubber back,
yeah.
so it just bends backwards.
So definitely with symbolism, he's big on that. We can see, like Pastor Gavin alluded with the whole vet thing. They were so running, you know, taking the ANC to court and stuff. We also saw with the whole, I don't know, was it peace talk with Trump? How he came across as the savior, you know, of everything there. So I think they're very big with symbolism. So definitely.
But then he asked Trump to give us money so that we can surveil our citizens, put up cameras and digital currencies, and
but that is my biggest problem. So one thing for sure, also, just to, I think my last 2 cents is that to say that, you know, the biggest thing is that these guys will actually be like super professional, that these things will be implemented and we will have a dictatorship. In fact, we can see that whenever you speak against or go against the grain of the DA, you actually get booted out. There's many people the DA has booted out, and it's also a symbolism to the other members that if you're thinking of joining, this is the script, and if you don't follow, we're gonna put you out. Because also Helen Zilla was in an interview, I think, if not a month or a few weeks back, with News 20, is it? I almost said 27.
24.
News 24. I forgot the journalist's name. She's actually famous. But she asked about all the members. I think on then it was still on Emma Powell, that why was she sacked. And then she didn't want to even speak on that. She didn't want to answer on that. She just said that whoever leaves the DA, just look at their lives afterwards. But I knew she was lying, because I'm looking at Herman Mashaba. He's doing waves. Not much for, what's his name, the Bossa leader. Musi, not much. I don't think he's making much waves, but I know Mashaba is making much waves. I know the podcaster, his podcast is also being listened to. What's his name again?
Ronaldo Ghost.
Yes, his podcast. So I definitely, I knew she was lying when she was saying that. So you can tell that in the ANC, not the ANC, the DA, dictatorship is, I could say yes, it was always practice.
But there was also the discussion around Helen Zilla running for mayor, and then the DA showed their inner workings, you know, through the interviews relating to her possibly being the DA candidate for mayor of the city of Johannesburg. And they all talk about there's a committee. So all the people who want a candidate for the DA, they get interviewed by a committee. So there's this committee somewhere lurking in the shadows that selects the people that are candidates for mayor or whatever. So they're not a democratic, federally adjusted institution. Definitely. They're all about control.
Definitely.
And that's what the ANC is all about. And that's why I'm saying the DA equals a white version of the ANC.
It's just that the ANC sucks in controlling things, but they're about that too.
And
but the DA also sometimes.
Yeah.
No, we could talk stories. Never mind.
Yeah. What's this? That's where we're going to end it for now. Let us know your thoughts. Do you agree with us so far, or are you just like a bunch of heathens? You can't be saying such things. Let us know in the comments below. But I'm going to read from, Proverbs chapter 28 verse 2, and it says, when a country is rebellious, it has many rulers, but a ruler with discernment and knowledge maintains order.
Yes, and that's actually the problem in South Africa, and people often talk about the country being rebellious in terms of them being rebellious against the government. And what I want to say to you at the end of the day, that that's not what the Bible says. The Bible talks about being rebellious towards God. And so this verse, you have to take it in the context. When a people is rebellious against God, then there are many rulers. And that's typical of a situation that you see in South Africa today. You know, the church brought South Africa to the place whereby we could have a peaceful transition of power in 1994. Without the church, that peaceful transition would not have happened. The ANC was founded in the Methodist Church by a Methodist minister, a Christian man who wrote Nkosi Sikelel' Afrika, which is the part of the anthem of South Africa today. And that song was written as a hymn. It's a hymn, that song. It's something you can sing in church. God bless Africa. About guiding the leaders, about coming Holy Spirit, all sorts of things. Another one line in the original, which they actually took out now, Woza Moya, and it's talking about come Holy Spirit. And the thing is, at the end of the day, that got thrown out. That's been tossed on the sideline. And so at the end of the day, now you sit with a situation whereby there are many rulers, many fights, and people going crazy all over the place. And so as a result of that, I really want to encourage you to make the Lord the king of your life.
Yeah.
Put the Lord on the throne of your life and follow him, because that's the only way that you're going to get any justice in the world. And I'm not saying you'll have justice in terms of the world's court system. I'm saying you'll have justice with God.
Yeah.
But the best part is you won't face justice. You deserve judgment because of your sin. Think about your sin. Think about how many other people you've hurt. Think about what would happen if the Lord, dealt with you the way you deserved for times when you've really hurt other people, maybe betrayed other people. But you can give your heart to Jesus. And he died. He paid the price for all of that stuff. And so I really want to encourage you today. Give your life to the Lord. It's going to go far better for you.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes, this has been an amazing show. Again, let us know your thoughts on the comments below. What you think about this. Do you have any other points that we haven't spoken about yet? Maybe it's part of next week's show. Let us know. And yeah, I think we'll speak on some of the comments next week as well. This has been a really great show. I'm your girl Cynthia, but you can call me Gix. And with me in studio we've had
Gavin Insland,
Pastor Gavin Insland, and
The Black
Knight, right here on the Political Show, where Christ Politics is
Hot Politics.
Hot Politics.
This is the Political Show.